What's up, y'all? So I was out here working in my garden and I just started thinking to myself about what is the best produce to consume. And as I'm working in my garden, of course, anything homegrown is going to be the #1 best produce to eat. Whether you're growing fruit, vegetable, root crop, whatever, homegrown is always going to be the best. And if you're doing homegrown gardening, there's really no reason not to practice organic gardening. You know, there's no need to really spray any pesticides or herbicides. You know, there's always alternative methods to treating that kind of stuff. So, if you're like me, you only get about 3 or 4 months of gardening out of the year. So the rest of the time, we're left to resort to something else. My second favorite source of produce would be locally grown. Anything I get at the farmers markets, you know, little roadside fruit stands where people have grown the food themselves, know what it's being grown in, known how it's grown, whether they spray it, if they do spray it, what do they spray it with, and that way you know exactly what you're getting. So once, you know, if you can't get a hold of any homegrown or locally grown produce, the next best thing is just going to be straight out organic produce that you can get at your supermarket. Now I try to strive to eat everything organic that I can, and I'd say I do a pretty good job staying right around that 90 to 95% of whatever I eat is organic. But sometimes it's just not possible to get organic. So when the organics aren't available, the thing I like to resort to next is greenhouse grown. Now greenhouse grown, they still may spray some pesticides, but it's going to be minimal. You figure, you know, grown in a big, you know, enclosure, greenhouse, you're not going to have as many weeds, bugs, so you're not going to have to spray as often. Therefore, you know, there's going to be less chemicals in the greenhouse grown produce. So after the greenhouse grown produce, the next thing I usually buy, which is the only thing really left, is just straight old conventional. Now some conventional produce I've had over the years has actually been sweeter than any organic. Take a look at this pineapple. It is one of the sweetest pineapples I have ever tasted, yet it is a conventional pineapple. I have never came across a organic pineapple that has been this yellow, this sweet, and this flavorful. And it just goes to show you that organic, conventional, homegrown, greenhouse grown, locally grown, whatever, the #1 important thing is taste. You know, I will buy something conventional over organic if it's sweeter, if it's got more sugar content, because that's what I'm up for, you know, that's what I'm looking for. I want the sweetest fruit. You know, if I can taste chemicals or, you know, if it don't taste right, you know, I'm not going to eat it. I'd rather just compost it, because life's too short to eat unripe fruit. Let's say that again. Life is too short to eat unripe fruit. So let me review that. The list of what I like to eat. Of course, the best is anything homegrown. Second best is anything you can source locally from local farmer market, local farmers. The third is just going to be the plain old organics that you can source at any supermarket store. Fourth is greenhouse grown. And then fifth is just plain old out conventional. Now there is a list that comes out every year. It's called the Dirty Dozen Clean 15, which I'll show now. And there's a few good points on here. A few of the things I agree with are that I always strictly buy organic are things like strawberries. I always buy organic. Potatoes, I always buy organic. Any leafy greens, I always buy organic. And a few of the things that I really don't strive for organic just because it's usually not available. So the things that I will buy conventional of are things like mangoes, pineapples, avocados. That's the three main things that come to the top of my head that I'll actually, you know, if there's no organics, there's no question. I'm just like, all right, I'll get conventional, because usually the taste flavor isn't too much different. Plus, there's usually not too much spray on those things. So let me know what produce you always buy organic of. You know, are there some things that you just can't get organic of and you have to just, you know, buy conventional? Let me know if you're able to tell, you know, a difference between sweetness of fruit that's organic and the sweetness of fruit that's just plain old conventional. And like I said, you know, I've had conventional fruit that's been way sweeter than any organic fruit I've had. So really, you just gotta, you know, you just gotta pick fruit that looks the best, hope for the best. And I mean, really no fruit goes to waste, because if it's no good, just throw it in the compost bin and nothing's been wasted. So y'all have a good one. Keep eating that right fruit and stay carved. Later, y'all.